Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on a brand new episode of NewsX India A-List. In our endeavour to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and brightest, today we've put together yet another unmissable lineup of India's who's who. Our first guests for the day are actors Deepika Padukone, Ananya Pandey and filmmaker Shakun Batra. Deepika and Ananya star in the film Gehraiyan, which has released on Amazon Prime Video. It's been directed by Shakun Batra. It's getting very, very good reviews. Take a look at this conversation.
Best known for their acting and filmmaking.
These are the kind of movies I've enjoyed watching. I'm not someone who's into the fantasy.
They are known for prolific Bollywood performances.
In this film, we were observing the characters and how four people would respond naturally in a situation like this.
They work together for Gehraiyan.
We were in search for a title that didn't lend itself to some kind of judgment, and we wanted it to be open.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Deepika Padukone, Ananya Pandey and Shakun Batra for excellence in acting and filmmaking.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with the team of a very special film, which is all set to stream on Amazon Prime this February. Welcome, Shakun Batra, Deepika Padukone, and Ananya Pandey. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much
for doing
Uday.
this.
Let me begin with you first, the captain of the ship.
See, your title.
Yes, which is, of course, venturing through these waters, these deep waters, Shakun. So, firstly, tell us about the title. What led to Gehraiyan being chosen as the most appropriate title? Was there something else that was being looked at earlier? And what made you cast the four of them as well? Were they the first choices? Who was the first to be cast? Tell us about how that happened.
Wow, a lot of questions. So let me start with the title. I think our search for the title was the longest. It took me longer to arrive at the title than the script and the cast, than all the rehearsals and the takes. So it's probably a 2-year journey to get to the title. But when it happened really quick. We were in search for a title that didn't lend itself to some kind of judgment, and we wanted it to be open to some kind of interpretation. So it wasn't reductive, so to say. In fact, it should be more open to interpretation, and it should be more inviting and inclusive. So when Aisha, who's the co-writer also on the project, she came up with the title. It did stick with me, but it took me a couple of days to feel that this was the one. And once we started working on the music, once the lyrics came in, it just felt like this was it, and at that time I was, to be honest, very nervous, and I thought if I waited any longer, we will not have a title. Yeah. And just to tell you that we never had crew t-shirts, and my crew is really upset about it because we did not know what to put on the crew t-shirt. So we never had crew t-shirts. So yeah, finally we arrived at this, and that was fantastic. Yeah. Coming down to the cast, that didn't take long. Funnily enough, the title took longer, but Deepika is always, on my mind. We met, that moved on pretty quickly. Sid, who isn't here, I watched him on in Gully Boy. He was so good that I'm so glad that it happened. There was somebody we found through casting. Ananya is somebody Aisha again had worked with, and she was sure that she was the right choice. And once I met her, I knew that she just had to be herself in the film. So that's that, and that's been the journey for the film so far.
Fantastic. Let me take that across then to the actors. Deepika, coming to you first. I was hearing you the other day at the trailer launch, and you were of course talking about how you were waiting to of course work with Shakun, and you knew that it would happen, and it has happened. Did you expect that it would happen with a project like this, firstly? And secondly, you said then that, the fact is that this is very new for you, the part. It's something you've never done before. And also something like this has never been seen in India before as well. Why do you feel that?
So, to your first question, did I know it would be something like this? Did I know it would be Gehraiyan? No, but did I know that it would be something that I could really just sink my teeth into and that it would be a film about relationships, and that's just very close to reality, raw. I did think that it would be that, because I do feel like those are the kind of movies that he makes. He's hugely inspired by Woody Allen and the likes. So I did feel like it would be, or at least I hoped. Let's say I didn't know. I did know. I just felt like I wished that it was this kind of film where we, because also just as an audience and growing up, these are the kind of movies I've enjoyed watching. I'm not someone who's into the fantasy and fantastical kind of movies. I'm someone who's always enjoyed, again, the Woody Allen-esque sort of films. And as an actor as well, those are the kind of films I enjoy doing. So I did hope that it would be something like this, and it did. What was your next question?
Did you you also said that it's something that you've never done before in terms of the character?
Yeah, it's something I've never done. Yeah, I think just in terms of how layered this character is and how complex this character is, and the kind of choices that she makes in this film, and therefore the consequences of those choices. So yeah, I mean, if I had to sum it up, I think just the complexity of this character is something that I haven't had the opportunity to do before.
Okay.
And I think in terms of why I feel like Indian cinema hasn't seen this before is, again, similar to that extent. I just feel like if I zoom out a bit and you look at the different characters in the films and the different relationships between these characters, the way they've been treated through more of an observational lens and not so much of a black and white lens. I think in the way that intimacy has been brought into this movie. Yeah. And when I say intimacy, I don't mean just the physical intimacy, but just intimacy between characters. Even the music. The music is so fresh. The way it's been shot is so fresh. So I think it's just new for India at so many levels, which is why I feel that way.
Great, and let's hope it succeeds so we see more works like this as well. Yes, Shakun wants to add something very quickly before.
No, I was just keeping my fingers crossed, man.
Okay, fingers crossed. Okay, fair enough. Yes, Ananya, getting you in here on again, what appealed to you about the project when it came your way, and also the fact that obviously you all have really got along like like a house on fire. You've really bonded. Was that deliberate? Or do you believe that there were a lot of workshops that happened before which led to this bonding? And tell us about your first encounters with all of them. Did you know them very well before, or was it actually because of filming that you got to know them?
So my answer is really similar to Deepika's when it comes to what attracted me to the film, and that is, I think, the complexities and the grayness in all the characters. I felt like usually in films we like to categorize people that this one's the bad one, this one's the good one. But in this film, we were observing the characters and how four people would respond naturally in a situation like this. And we weren't kind of forming any judgments, and that kind of appealed to me the most. But honestly, I just wanted to work with Shakun, and I would literally do anything that he was making, quite honestly. I'm just lucky that it was this one.
Okay.
She makes me sound like some 80-year-old man who's on his last leg, probably will never make a film.
This is my last chance to work with Shakun.
You look like an 80-year-old.
But there's so many questions in one thing. So my first encounter, I didn't know... I knew Sid a little bit because we had done a bunch of interviews, as everyone knows, together. And Deepika, I'd met her like socially at parties and stuff. But I think the encounters, we all kind of encountered each other together at the workshops. And I think we all do kind of have a natural chemistry. Our sense of humors are very similar in that way. We all get along really well. But I think the workshops kind of cemented that. We were put into like this rigorous schedule of like yoga in the morning, and then we'd have intimacy workshops and acting classes and all of that. So it was quite hectic. We felt like we were in school. And I think because we were in those like weird situations, we'd get a break between everything. So we'd like giggle and discuss, oh, the teacher said this, the teacher did that, and kind of like compare notes and all of that stuff. So I think that really did help us bond a lot, the workshops. Yeah.
Yeah, Uday, I was telling someone else before. Ananya came to me once and she thought she was joining a cult because it was also ritualistic.
Yeah.
And, the only thing we told her, I mean, we didn't tell her was to wear a uniform. And
You'd be like with these bamboos and all. I was like, what are we doing?
She's like, are you slowly hypnotizing us?
I just got out of school. I didn't want to go back to school.
Yeah. And in fact, Deepika was saying the other day that everything was done together, from your meals to everything else, which is why you made it a point to go into water together as well with Siddhant.
That was amazing.
That too.
Yeah. But it's your first OTT release as well. So I have to quickly ask you about that as well, Deepika, because Ananya had Khali Pili Love, earlier. Even Shakun had release on Netflix, the documentary on Sheila, and but it's your first OTT release. So anticipations on that. What are your thoughts on? It's become the new normal, and also now people across the world can see you because you are an international star now as well.
I think a lot of people might question this decision. And it's so weird because a couple of months ago, my agent and I wanted to go and see Karan and Shakun and the team because we had discussed internally, and just based on the kind of film it was, we just felt that OTT was just the best platform for this. Now, would we have made this decision 2 years ago? Probably not. But I think the pandemic really has opened up so many avenues. We 2.5 years ago, we set out for this to be a theatrical release. And then Karan at the same time reached out saying, I'd like to meet you and the team. And I think that he wanted to meet me to say that, listen, we think that, we know we set out to do a theatrical, but we think that it's best to do OTT. And I think he thought that we wanted to meet him to say, whatever you do, don't put this on OTT. You better make sure it's a theatrical release. And my agent and I walked in, and Shakun and Karan were already there, and we did the customary hi hellos. And the next thing we know, the meeting was over in 2 minutes because all four of us agreed and felt that we went there to say we think this should be an OTT release, and they thought that I would resist that. Okay. And we were like, no, we've actually come to say, yes, please put this on OTT. Yeah. And that was that. And then we spent the next 45 minutes eating sandwiches.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's just, like I said, I don't think when we set out to make this film, we thought of it like that. Yeah. But I think as things opened up, and when I mean opened up, as OTT opened up in India, and if you see the way the West functions now, there's literally just a handful of films that actually release now theatrically. Most of them go straight to OTT. You have, Disney, if I'm not mistaken, their last couple of animation films have gone straight to OTT. So it just felt like the right thing to do. And I think it's incredible today that as filmmakers, as producers, as creative people, you have the choice to decide which platform you want to cater your film to. And it's just as simple as that. And yes, of course, the fact that you can watch it in the comfort of your homes, you can watch it at a time that is convenient for you.
And you can watch it again and again.
And you can watch it again and again. And you can watch it anywhere in the world. Yeah. So I think just it makes the possibilities endless. Okay. When it's this kind of a release,
Fantastic. Okay, well, we've run out of time, but I'll leave you the last word as well, the captain of the ship once again, Arjun Bajwa. And this is and quickly you can answer this, quickly, 30 seconds to you on, do you believe the time is right? The Karan Johar was asked this question the other day, and he is of course the producer of this film as well, that some people said for Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna, it was too early. It was too early before its time. Do you believe that Gehraiyan 2022, this is the perfect time? The time has arrived for a film like this?
I think we've always told these stories. I think we maybe less of these, but we've had a Devdas, we've had a Lame, we've had Kank, and eventually these stories find their time and space.
Okay.
And I'm not. I think it's. I wanted to respect the maturity of the audience, and I think we are there. We are there, and I can only keep my fingers crossed, because I really hope that these are the kind of films me and a lot of people I know would want to watch.
Absolutely. So would I. Let me echo there. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you. And as I said, here's really wishing you the very best, because, as we were saying earlier, that the audiences need to watch it and applaud it so that more such projects are made in the country. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next guest for the day is co-founder and CEO of ClassSculpt, with a goal to bring 21st century learning solutions from across the globe to bridge the gap between in-class and at-home learning. Their solutions have been curated by industry experts. Take a look at this conversation.
With an aim to deliver personalized solutions to students,
Started much before the pandemic hit us and trying to bring technology to the classrooms in India.
he's bridging the gap between in-class and at-home learning.
The whole idea was to build a company which is based on research and data, because my background as an engineer.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Varun Kumar for excellence in education and technology.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching NewsX A-List. I'm joined with Mr. Varun Kumar. He is the co-founder and CEO of ClassSculpt. A very warm welcome to NewsX, Varun.
Thank you, Richa. Good to be here.
Varun, tell us about ClassSculpt's journey. So many edutech companies have made their place, platforms have made their place during the lockdown and some few before that. Tell us a bit more about ClassSculpt right now.
Yeah, so we started much before the pandemic hit us and trying to bring technology to the classrooms in India. We started in 2009, me and my co-founder Naveen, with the focus to improve learning outcomes in our schools specifically. And the whole idea was to build a company which is based on research and data, because my background as an engineer and Naveen's background as doctoral fellowship in education econometrics. And as you would imagine, back in the day, the hardest part of building a data-driven education technology company was to gather the data itself, because all our assessment, books, everything was offline. So that was the problem which we tried to solve by latching on to the current behaviors of school exams. So we kind of automated the school exam process itself, which gave us the data, using which we created the personalized remedial solution, which is our USP, and we are the only company who kind of provides this solution. And so you can see back in the day itself, we were ahead of the market in terms of technology. And pandemic has definitely enabled us to kind of scale further and reach to the larger number of schools.
Varun, as you mentioned about your USP, the personalized retrieval solution that you guys have, can you explain further to our viewers what it is? How does it work?
Yeah, so the current system, if you look at the challenges at the end of the assessment or exam, the system labels the child as good, average, or bad. So you say, hey, this is average child, he's good in maths, bad in English, stuff like that, right? But it does not provide any feedback on how to improve or what that child can do to improve in math. So basically, when we analyze the data, using our data analytics technique, our software recommends specific targeted content for each child. So in fact, say in math, in fraction, unlike fraction to like fraction, if the child has a problem, it will identify and will provide specific input to improve on that specific sub-content. So the important is not to label the child, but to say, hey, this is where you need to improve. And the second part was we were able to do this in print. So like how the technology scaled up to provide printed, say, phone bills for Airtel, like how it is different for everybody. Similarly, we use that technology to print these worksheets for individual child, so that teachers in classroom can support the kids to work on the specific issue. And this goes with, if you look at the latest NEP 2020 mandate, to look at the overall development of the child, taking it away from the rote learning. So this is how the personalized remedial solution works.
So what do you think? How do you think, what is the impact of NEP in education?
So NEP, we really welcomed, and it was kind of quite overdue as a policy change. And if you look at, because we focus more on the lower grades, so we are more active in K to 5. So I'll talk specifically about how it impacts the lower grade, because these are the grades which build the foundation for our kids. So three main changes which NEP has, the welcome changes NEP has brought is, first time there is a curriculum framework for pre-primary. So a lot of our kids go to pre-primary schools, those nursery, KG, or whatever we call. In those grades, there was no curriculum framework which was there by the government, which has come, which is a welcome change. Second is, government first time has called out the importance of literacy and numeracy. So they think all other subjects are important, but unless you build the foundation in language and maths, you will find it hard to basically go to next classes. And third is the competency-based assessment and addressing the learning gaps, which we actually work on. So these three are the major changes which government has proposed. And being a market leader in this specific category, we are really excited about these changes.
Can you help and make me understand, and for our viewers also, how does Class Club work in schools? How does it function in a basic understanding?
Sure. So what happens is, the way school adopts a curriculum, which includes basically all type of learning content, including courseware like textbook, workbook, teacher lesson plans, assessment. So the entire curriculum aspect of the content aspect of what school delivers to the child. So school sign-ups are programmed. And what we do is, over the year, say beginning of the year, we provide all the books, digital content, apps, so that basically teachers can use and use effectively to deliver it to students. And then what we do differently is, we set the learning outcomes. So we set the goal. So by end of this term, you need to achieve X, Y, Z.
Okay.
And then the assessment is prepared on that. We administer the assessment, which is done by us. And then that's what gives us the data back. So instead of providing just the content and forget it, we kind of close the loop by taking that data and providing our printed personalized solution. So think of it as like a modern education curriculum provider, which not only provides the books and CDs, but basically is owning the learning outcomes, so that we ensure that the child improves by the end of the term. And that's why you see year over year, one of the big foundation, Michael Susan and Dell Foundation, conducted a pretty large study across 40 schools and 5,000 students. We outscored all other programs in the country in terms of learning improvement in a single year.
So you would consider to say that this has had a very positive impact on students' learning abilities at the end of it, and you can analyze that even better. As you explained earlier, that data was something which you didn't have, but now over the years, of course, you do have attain the data, and you consider that by the end of it, you're seeing a difference in students' learning abilities.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, like if you compare to say where there is a no program, versus there like a specific, like some app or some program is going on, versus a complete R curriculum program. So if a no program shows about 5-point improvement and the other programs are giving about 10 to 11 point, our program gave 18 to 24 point improvement. So you can say about 4 to 5 times improvement compared to what was going on in the school earlier. And that is pretty simple to understand, right? If you're providing something which is specific to that child, you will see that improvement. And that's why parents go for private tuition, right? Because you need that personal attention that, okay, this is the problem of my child.
And the excellent part is, by the end of it, it is customized for every student to understand where they're lacking and what is the problem that is happening, which is very interesting. I wish it was there when we guys were kids and not told that you're an average student and you're good and you're bad. But tell us something, how is ClassClap leveraging technology, and how is it enabling you to tap into, into newer venues, into something that increases your revenue share?
So the two core things which I mentioned, right? One was this whole personalized remedial part, and second thing was connecting the learning outcome through the year. So these are the two core focus area for us in terms of technology. So basically kind of generating these exams. So we don't generate exam manually. We have a big content engine where you set certain parameters and basically it churns out. So we generate more than 5,000 SKUs of exam, gather 10 million plus data points and generate 1 million of these personalized worksheet every year, right? So enabling this entire kind of flow or the supply chain of it is one big use case of technology. And second, I was talking about the learning outcome. So basically exams become rote because that's if you look at, that's the goal a student is trying to chase or a system is trying to chase. So if you put that goal clearly right from the textbook, workbook to lesson plan to digital content to assessment. So at each step, if you clearly call out, hey, this is why we are learning and what you should achieve at the end of the day at every step, it basically keeps the system aligned and the delivery is much better. So connecting that, because see, the thing is, unless your thing is streamlined earlier, you can't fix it later, right?
Yes.
So connecting things end to end which is the big, so learning management system, the student learning app, teacher app. So those enable that connecting of the learning outcome. So those are two big areas. And in terms of revenue, how it helps us is because now we are able to provide the entire service to school. So basically schools' costs go down, and that's why they are able to pay us a little bit more. So it increases the per unit kind of revenue realization for us as well.
Interesting. And tell us about your latest merger that you have with Ufysys Learning, and what is your further plans?
Yeah, so this is pretty exciting. As you know, startups, we all start with limited resources and of course from a region. So Ufysys started in North India and have a pretty strong presence in North and Eastern part of the country. And we started in South. So we have a stronger presence in South and West. And then basically they had a pretty interesting portfolio approach and we had the curriculum approach. So kind of when the way the market is kind of expanding really rapidly, we were kind of, both the companies were looking at opportunities to find a natural partner, which can basically give us quick pan-India presence and a complete offering for our customers, right? Because school doesn't want to basically sit and kind of mix and match things, where basically one company which can, as a platform, can provide the complete solution. That really reduces the headache for the school. So that was the idea, kind of joining the hand. And so now with this merger, we are already kind of serving 20,000 plus schools, and we are already the market leader in terms of, if you look at 21st century skills building solutions. So their publishers, of course, were bigger than us, but as a 21st century solution in school, we are the largest player. And with this merger, we are quite sure of crossing 100,000 school mark in next 3 to 5 years. So we are pretty excited about this kind of bringing our vision of connecting this learning at home and at school. So yeah.
That's excellent, Mr. Kumar, and we hope you all the very best. And thank you so much for bringing such easy format of, making students get educated and as well as, understanding where they stand in their school curriculum. Thank you so much for speaking to NewsX.
You're welcome, Richa.
Our next guest for the day is actor Arjun Bajwa. He stars in the new web series Bestseller, streaming on Amazon Prime. Take a look.
Known for his work in Hindi and Tamil films,
it's a very satisfying experience when you work on a project like this.
he stars in the new web series Bestseller.
It's as intense, as good, as elaborate, as magnanimous as anything which is a filmmaking part of the filmmaking process.
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Arjun Bajwa for excellence in acting.
Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're with us live on a special segment NewsX A-List, and with us today is actor Arjun Bajwa. Arjun, welcome back to NewsX. Good to have you. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much, Uday, and you guys are always very kind to me, and thank you for having me again.
No, well, great to have you on board for a very interesting role and a very interesting project. Tell us a bit about, what attracted you to Bestseller, which is, of course, your new web series with Amazon Prime. It looks very, very intriguing, scary at times, of course, extremely thrilling. What attracted you to it?
I think a lot of aspects go into an actor choosing a script, and primarily it's who's making it, what the script is all about, what is your role, and who's going to be directing it, and how the exhibition will be. In terms of films, we always knew that film jayenge, theater mein, and so many theaters will release. And considering web series, theaters have been substituted by OTT platforms. So in Bestseller, I think all the boxes were checked and tick marked from the first go.
Yeah.
The script that was sent to me by our casting director, good friend Kavish Sinha, he's a very prolific guy. He's done great work. The producer of the series, Siddharth Malhotra of Alchemy Films, he's an old friend and able producer. The director is a very celebrated, very, very good director, Mukul Abhyankar, who has great command over thriller subjects. And then you have the best thing that happened to this script, which is Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
So all the things were so much right in the right place that I had to be a part of this script anyhow.
Yes, and you're truly fitting your part, but we still don't know whether it's you're a good guy, whether there are negative shades. So is that what appealed to you about the character? That there are a lot of shades.
There are way too many layers on this character. It's a very complex character. You can't put him into any kind of a frame by saying he's good, bad, or gray. It is a very, very multi-dimensional story, and a character also which is very multi-dimensional. He's got way too many complexities, way too many layers to him, way too many shades to him for actually containing Tahir Wazir into one frame. So that was in fact a very, very exciting part for me to be a part of the script, because as an actor, you can do so much in a script of a film. But over here, you had so many things to do and so much to shoot, in fact, that it's a very satisfying experience when you work on a project like this.
Absolutely. Also, in terms of just the web series space, Arjun, do you believe, it offers a lot of scope, for characters like yours and, of course, complex shows like this to really flesh out each role, to flesh out each character because of the time. You've done web series before. So do you believe that this really gives space where audiences can examine different layers of each character, and it makes the experience of watching all the more exciting and interesting?
It does. It surely does. What you just said is absolutely right, because in a film you have a certain limited time period to show the story and portray the characters, which is about 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes, or 20, whatever you can make it. But in a web series, it's a elaborated story, and as actors also, whatever you want to show is not contained in a limited space. So you can go on and on by developing characters, having their layered, nature, and so many things that can go into making a gritty, intense story. So on OTT, we are very, very fortunate to be living in these times when you can say so many stories which are not time bound now, which are not time limited, in fact, and you can make it into a 8-part series or a 10-part series. But while I say that, for an actor, the job is the same.
Yeah.
You shoot the way you shoot normally, and only the medium of exhibition, I would say, is different. Rest, everything as a filmmaking process exactly is the same. So many times people ask me, so what's the difference between OTT and filmmaking? I said, no, there's nothing. I've been part of both, and never have I ever felt being on the set that I'm shooting a series or a film. It's as intense, as good, as elaborate, as magnanimous as anything which is a filmmaking, part of a filmmaking process.
Yeah, but do you believe, the advent of OTT platforms like Amazon Prime has truly been a game changer over the last few years? We've been entertained thanks to them. Over the last couple of years, it's kept us sane in very, very difficult moments. So you've also watched a lot on these OTT platforms yourself. But do you believe it's been a game changer for actors like yourself and generally the industry as a whole?
It has been a game changer for the industry, I would say, completely game changer, because till a certain time we were only working in films. Now, web series also give you such amazing stories to tell that you can, every mainstream actor today, including myself, is a part of some kind of a web show or something, And the biggest game changer that OTT has done is it has increased your audience to the whole world. Yeah. I mean, anybody far and wide in any other country, any other region who doesn't even understand probably the Hindi language or doesn't really watch Indian cinema can actually access your work and see, and like we also see so many times, so many different language series and films and everything. So OTT has really, really played a very, very important role in putting your talent out there in front of the whole world.
Okay, coming back to bestseller, how was the experience like for you on set, Arjun, with the legendary Mithun Chakrabarti, sharing screen space with the house that also you've got Shruti Hassan, you've got, Gohar Khan as well. How was the experience?
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't have asked for a better star cast, because apart from, everybody coming together and such amazing people to work with, they're all such accomplished people in their own way. It goes without saying that Mithun sir is legendary, superstar for so many decades, and his nature, his humility, and his enthusiasm is very, very addictive, because you learn and you realize that after being in films for that after being in cinema films for so many decades, he is still so enthusiastic about working every day. And when he comes on the set, he is absolutely charged up like a newcomer. So that's something one needs to learn, that you have to be like that, because superstars just don't become superstars by working in so many films and working over a time period, but it's their nature, it's their way of dealing with their profession and people around them. And of course, Shruti Hassan, what can I say? She's so stunning first to start with, and she's such an accomplished actor, multi-award-winning actor. She's a singer, she's a songwriter, she's a music composer, multifaceted, and of course, so many different languages she's worked in. So we had a great time working together. And Gohar, of course, I've known for many years, and she's a friend. And here we were sometimes burst out laughing when we were doing a romantic scene, because we've known each other for so many years, and it was quite funny. So great, overall, very good experience working on the series.
Okay, well, look forward to watching a bestseller, of course, very soon. And congratulations on this project. Wishing you all the very best for this and for the rest of the Arjun Bajwa. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
Our next guest for the day is designer Vipul Shah. He launched his label with a philosophy of merging modern luxe, aesthetics and versatile glamour with the rich heritage of Indian textiles, creating carry-alls that truly tell the story of Indian tapestry and craftsmanship unlike any other. Take a look at this conversation.
Merging modern luxe aesthetics with Indian rich heritage.
We are the pioneers of old textiles in India.
He employs fabrics extracted from vintage materials.
Everything we create is made out of vintage, one-of-a-kind fabrics that have been collected, as I told you, by my grandfather.
NewsX India A-list proudly recognizes Vipul Shah for excellence in fashion and design.
Hello and welcome. I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this brand new interview as part of our NewsX A-list series. We're in conversation today with designer Vipul Shah. Vipul, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Let me start by just talking to you about your brand and the journey. Tell us about how you found it and when Vipul Shah Bags.
So the brand started in 2012, and this is when I moved back to Udaipur, my hometown, from UK, and joined my family business. Let me brief you a little about my family business, which is very interesting. The store is called Ganesh Emporium. We are the pioneers of old textiles in India. And my grandfather is a very big name in the textile industry. So he had been collecting textiles over decades, which had been passed over to my father and now to me. So when I moved back, those textiles I saw as an inspiration, and I wanted to do something with them. So I created the brand Vipul Shah Bags out of it, and designed first of my many bags then.
Great. And then, as they say, the rest is history. What is the USP of Vipul Shah Bags? What sets it apart from others, according to you?
The USP of our brand is that we make bags that are one of a kind and that pay homage to the rich heritage of Indian textiles. So everything we create is made out of vintage, one of a kind fabrics that have been collected, as I told you, by my grandfather, my father, and now me. And we use that element and fuse it with the modern aesthetics and present it in a very modern manner. So somewhere the ethos of the brand is, presenting the Indo-Gypsy fusion with a very modern flair and presenting it to the world with a very modern twitch and glamour.
Okay. You said it was founded in 2012. So that means it's your 10-year anniversary. You've completed 1 decade this year. So congratulations on that. How has been the response over the years? It's been 10 years, as I said, since you started the brand. How was the response over the years? Did it start slowly? Did it pick up immediately? How has been the response?
As I said, it took around 10 years to reach at this stage, but the journey was really beautiful. I mean, the brand grew over a period of years, and we kind of learned that journey. I was lucky and blessed to have the textiles as my base in the family business only, so which kind of provided a lot of encouragement to do and to experiment things out of it. So it has been very interesting, thanks to social media, which has made it a global phenomena now. And I mean, a brand was started so basically the base of a brand is Instagram. That's where we started promoting it, and within 10 years we've reached quite a good stage.
Great. So you got onto it much before the others. The others, of course, are now adapting because of COVID. As you said, you got onto it much earlier. But, each bag is very different from the other. So just tell us about what the ideation process is like, what all goes into creation of each bag, how long that takes.
So when I told you that the bags are made out of vintage one-of-a-kind fabrics, so these fabrics basically were collected from the tribal areas of Rajasthan, Gujarat, particularly Jaisalmer side, Barmer side, Chotan side. That is the influence you would see in our bags. So those fabrics which were collected were further patched, joined together, and then we kind of embellished them with coins, fringes, tassels, which is our quintessential, like you can relate the product that it is a Vipul Shah design. So it goes through a lot of different stages until the finished product comes out. But one thing which is the hallmark of every design of a bag is the vintage fabrics which we use, and that makes it different and unique.
Yes. And also, as far as, of course, the sales are concerned, is it just online through which you retail, or do you have a physical studio yourself as well, a physical store?
So yes, the major part of our business comes through Instagram and WhatsApp, but we do have a very beautiful store. It is a part of the same store I explained, my family store. So our studio is set up within that only. It is located in a 17th century Haveli, where we had around 150 rooms, which we broke down into 16 galleries. But we've kept the originals as it is, and we haven't disturbed them and restored the Haveli.
That must be quite an experience for people when they come to buy a bag, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I mean, we kind of now promoting more retail sales.
Yeah.
As the world shut down because of pandemic, inbound tourism has increased a lot in Udaipur, and Udaipur being one of the top touristic cities, so you will see anyone and everyone coming for a holiday. That kind of adds on. People come to the store and kind of see the beauty of the store along with the products as well.
Okay. Tell us a bit about your famous clientele as well. You have a lot of celebrity clientele from Hollywood to Bollywood. Tell us about these individuals who have your bags, which make you feel the most proud, and has that also helped your brand outreach?
Right. I mean, we're living in a social media age where on your fingertips the world can be connected. Let it be any platform, Instagram, Facebook. So you kind of get acknowledged with your work. Even my work got noticed by a lot of stylists, and which helped the product to reach to the ultimate people. I mean, as you said, celebrities and stuff. It has been, I think God has been kind. We're very grateful for all the people using their bags. So, I mean, of course, in today's age, if you think, the brand value kind of you get a certain brand value when celebrities are wearing your products. And
I'm sure it's especially it's all the more special when international stars also like it, including Julia Roberts, I think, Nicole Scherzinger, Frida Pinto. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of them happened through the store as well because they were visiting the store, and along with that, they kind of noticed the products. So the Julia Roberts thing happened. Very interesting story. Frida Pinto, one of her friends who supports Barack Obama Foundation, and she wanted to give something for that cause. So she took one of my bags and got it to them.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, and as you're saying, there have been a lot of famous international visitors to your store as well.
Yes, the store Ganesh Emporium gets a lot of international visitors and international designers because we are the pioneers of old textiles in India, and hence it attracts all of them to buy all the treasures we inherit. Apart from that, since they're coming to the store, so they do check out our brand as well. So that has kind of given us an acknowledgement worldwide.
Great, yeah. And there are a lot of Bollywood individuals as well who like your brand, isn't it? I think Malaika Arora is one of your favorites there. Are there a few more?
She is very kind, and I'm very grateful to her for promoting my product and vouching for my brand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have to talk now about the COVID impact as well, Vipul, because it's had an impact on all industries. For you as a brand, how big was the impact, and how did you adapt?
Well, it had been challenging for everyone. We kind of thrived. keeping her attitude very positive. There had been few pockets when things were open, so we kind of exhibited in different places in India. And apart from that, we channelized all our energies towards online sales. So that kept us floating. But to be very honest, I mean, it has been okay only. Thinking now, I think the things look good now from now on.
Okay. Final question then to you, Vipul. What does the future look like? What are your future plans? Any expansion plans? Any new product plans? Also, any new collections of bags that are coming up?
So when I told you that it's been 10 years already, so we kind of diversified our brand. I mean, it is Vipul Shah bags, but we now do a lot of clothing, footwear, accessories, and future plans to get into menswear, a ready-to-wear menswear line, and probably get into the wedding market, designing outfits for vibrant day functions like Sangeet or Mehendi and stuff like that.
Well, wishing you all the very best, Vipul. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to coming and visiting your store in Udaipur as well one day.
Look forward to host you. Thank you so much. Have a very great day.
Thank you. That was great. And our final guest for the day is actor and now vlogger Ashish Vidyarthi. Yes, he is starring in the new series Raktanchal Season 2, which is streaming on MX Player. Take a look.
Known for his acting and now vlogging,
I feel it is wonderful to be truthful to the moment of that character in the script. Or no one better than the director who can, lead your way through that.
he stars in the recent Raktanchal Season 2.
मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि हम लोग इस प्रोजेक्ट को पूरा कर पाए हैं और चैलेंजिंग रहा है, डर भी लगा था। मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि डर नहीं लगा था, घबराहट भी हुई थी, क्या होगा, कैसे होगा।
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Ashish Vidyarthi for excellence in entertainment.
Hello and welcome, I'm Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with well-known actor Ashish Vidyarthi. Ashish, welcome to NewsX. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Uday. Very happy to be here with you.
Let me begin with my first question on Raktanchal Season 1, because this, of course, is Season 2 that you're part of. Had you seen the first season when you signed up for it, or did you take this season as a fresh slate and a fresh role?
The latter. I love to go into things without reference. And the reference for me, whenever I go into any project, is what is it that the director wants from me? So on any given day, Uday, it's very interesting when the director comes up and shares with me what is it that they want from that scene. और बहुत मुक्त फील करता हूं जब मैं एक पास्ट के बगैर आई एम एबल टू इंटरप्रेट व्हाट दैट पर्सन वांट्स रादर देन सेइंग पर पहले तो ये था ना, पहले तो वो था, क्योंकि मेरा कैरेक्टर पहले नहीं था और एक नई कहानी कही जा रही है. So it is, I feel it is wonderful to be truthful to the moment of that character in the script. Or no one better than the director who can, lead your way through that.
Absolutely. So what was it about this project then that appealed to you? Of course, you're playing the role of a politician, all different shades in this politician, as all are politicians, of course, in real life. But what appealed to you about this character? What appealed to you about this series, which made you say yes?
So it's a very improbable answer, so might as well give it straight. It was the passion of my director. Ritam called me. I remember I was in Kerala. I was in Kerala and I received a call one late evening. And I hadn't heard of Ritam and I hadn't heard of the season 1 either. And this voice comes in and he says, "Sir, could you just listen to this?" मैंने कहा जी. और उस शाम को उन्होंने मेरे को नरेट किया. और कहीं ना कहीं उनके नरेशन में ना मुझे वो खुशबू आई कि वो कुछ माटी से जुड़ा हुआ कुछ कैरेक्टर करेंगे. It not just be a caricature. And that got me. मैंने कहा चलो करते हैं. And after that, it became a very symbiotic thing. And we shot in under very testing height of COVID. We even got COVID. I even contracted COVID in that period. I was in the hospital in Delhi. And all that happened. People were getting it. There were restrictions all over. But the entire team, and hats off to Amex, hats off to Ritam, the captain of our ship, for having kept the passion of the team together. और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि हम लोग इस प्रोजेक्ट को पूरा कर पाए हैं और चैलेंजिंग रहा है. डर भी लगा था, मैं ये नहीं कहूँगा कि डर नहीं लगा था, घबराहट भी हुई थी, क्या होगा, कैसे होगा, but we could pull it off, and I'm very, very happy. It's a passion project, और मैं बहुत खुश हूँ कि अब on 11th it's releasing.
Absolutely, yeah. And just tell us a bit about the character that you're playing. Of course, as I said earlier, it's a politician. ये बहुत ही intricate web है. In Raktanchal, we can see there's a police officer. There's of course a young student neta or student activist. There's of course a senior politician in you. Then there's of course a royal family involved. So a lot of shades, a lot of characters. It's a complex web. What appealed to you about this whole series? और आप जरा अपने रोल के बारे में हमें बताएं.
So मुझे हमेशा ऐसा लगता है कि मैं किसी भी रोल को ना उस इंसान की क्या फितरत है उसमें मैं समझने की कोशिश करता हूँ. मेरे लिए जो मेरा कैरेक्टर है, it is somebody who's scared that somebody will stab him in the back. Now, अगर हम ऐसा कहें तो ऐसा बहुत कम लोग होते हैं जो ऐसे नहीं होते. हर एक लोग डरा होता है, और इसको हम लोगों ने पॉलिटिकल मिलियू में इस कैरेक्टर को रखा है. सो आई हैव प्लेड इट एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग विद फ्रेलिटीज, अ ह्यूमन बीइंग जो करना बहुत कुछ चाहता है लेकिन घबराया हुआ है. अपने बहुत सारी अपनी क्षमता है, अभी भी इच्छा है कि बहुत कुछ कर पाए, लेकिन घबराता है कि कोई ना कोई उसे रोक ना दे. और द मैकिनेशंस ऑफ अ ह्यूमन बीइंग इन अ सिचुएशन ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स, दैट इज हाउ आई सी माय कैरेक्टर इन दिस.
Okay. As you said, it was very challenging for you because you were shooting, of course, in this new COVID environment. ये कैसा अनुभव है? Because when shooting in these changed times, how has been that for you? Because we've all been in lockdown, then we've obviously all unlocked because you have to get on with life. You have to go back to working and earning for one's loved ones. But how was that challenge for you? Is it difficult because there's a lot of
So I want to share that.
Family?
Yeah, so I want to share that in the context there that, you see, I've had a 30-year-old career now, okay? And when you are a 30-year professional actor across different languages, you have seen many ebbs and flows. You have seen many peaks and troughs. So failure और काम का रुक जाना ये नई चीज नहीं है एक्टर के लिए. तो आपको पता होगा मैं मोटिवेशनल टॉक्स देता हूँ, और कभी आप हमारे वेबसाइट को भी यूट्यूब चैनल देख सकते हैं, आशीष विद्यार्थी ऑफिशियल. तो उसमें मैं एक चीज बार बार कहता रहता हूँ कि कोविड के पहले भी जो सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड इंसान होता है ना, उसकी जिंदगी में कई बार हुआ है कि जिंदगी थम गई है. कोविड में सिर्फ ये हुआ है कि मेरी भी जिंदगी थमी है, उदय प्रताप सिंह की भी जिंदगी थमी है. ऐसा नहीं कि उदय की चल रही है और मेरी रुकी, नहीं, सबकी रुक गई है. तो this was a whole new challenge, and I personally think that human beings are geared to handle challenges. हम लोग घबरा जाते हैं जब हम दूसरों के एग्जाम्पल्स लेके अपने को दबाते हैं. अगर हम लोग मान के चलें कि किसी को भी आसानी से आबूदाना नहीं मिलता, हर एक को एक चैलेंज से गुजर के करना पड़ता है. दैट इज व्हेन यू रियलाइज कि आप अपने को बहला फुसला के बेचारा बना के न रखें. कैसा रहेगा कि आप whatever the world and whatever the life is throwing at you at this moment, how else can you live your life to create value? और मेरे ख्याल से ये हमको, that is what COVID has taught the world over. Be it how we are meeting at this very moment. We couldn't have thought of having an interface like this. We नहीं ऐसे तो ना होता है. How can we do online? पर हमने देखा है कि हम कर सकते हैं, और हम बखूबी कर सकते हैं और कर रहे हैं. और मुझे लगता है कि इस नरेटिव में, इस पूरे नरेटिव में ना, हम सबकी कहानी सुनाने की पद्धतियां बदल गई हैं. How we tell our stories have changed, and I think this is a great time where human beings, it's like, I call it a tube moment. Have you noticed that without pressure आपके टूथपेस्ट नहीं निकलता है, आपको दबाना पड़ता है तब कुछ निकलता है. So I think this has brought out the best, brought out the hidden, brought out the latent within all of us. And I can definitely speak for myself कि मेरे अंदर मैं अपने आप को चहु दिशा में एक्सप्लोर कर पाया ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड। और उसका एक अंश है, अगर आपको कभी मौका मिले आप मेरे व्लॉग्स को देख सकते हैं ऑन यूट्यूब। इट इज कॉल्ड आशीष विद्यार्थी एक्टिव व्लॉग्स, जिसको मैं इस दौरान एक्सप्लोर कर पाया कि मेरे और भी आयाम हैं जिससे मैं अपने आप को व्यक्त कर सकता हूँ।
Amazing COVID learning that you've imbibed, and of course you're passing it on to others. That's amazing in itself, Ashish ji. Quickly, I have to ask you: you're playing a politician in this series. Are you interested in politics in real life? Do you follow politics or not really?
नहीं,
follow करते हैं?
I'll be very bad at it, यार। और पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में हल्का सा एक जोक क्रैक कर दूं आपको। It is like following a player। मैं इस प्लेयर को, फिर कोई बोलता है ये प्लेयर कौन से टीम में है, तो कहते एक सेकंड मैं पता करके बताता हूँ आज कौन सी टीम में है। So no, it's like that. So I do personally believe that all of us human beings, चाहे हमारे कोई भी पार्टी एफिलिएशन हो, चाहे किसी देश से हमारा एफिलिएशन हो, एक चीज है, हम लोग सब ना रात को सुख से सोना चाहते हैं। हम लोग चाहते हैं हमारे घर वालों को खाना मिले, हम लोग महफूज रहें, सेफ रहें, हम लोग सब यही चाहते हैं। बट somehow एक माहौल ऐसा बना दिया जाता है कि मैं आपसे डरा हूं। अब मैं जब आपसे डरा हूं तो मैं आपसे नाराज रहूंगा। और मैंने ये पाया कि दरअसल उदय मेरा खून नहीं पीना चाहता और ना ही मैं उदय का खून पीना चाहता हूं। So it's a great time for now, and that's what I'm doing through my motivational talks, to share with people that there is a lot of goodness in life. आप समझ रहे हैं? जिंदगी में बहुत सारी अच्छाई है, और अगर हम उस अच्छाई को लेकर कुछ बात करें तो सचमुच बहुत कुछ अच्छा होगा। लेकिन जब आप रक्तांचल जैसा कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट देखेंगे तब आपको पता चलेगा कि जिंदगी की काफी सारी उतार चढ़ाव हैं, और उस उतार चढ़ाव में रोमांच है, और उस रोमांच से हमको और आपको गुजरना पड़ता है दोस्तों, ऑन अ डेली बेसिस। एंड दैट इज व्हाट आई फाउंड इंटरेस्टिंग अबाउट रक्तांचल की it takes you on a roller coaster ride, and hats off to Amex for having supported such a project in the first place and now again. So really looking forward to 11th.
Yes, now audiences can watch this roller coaster ride, of course, on MX Player. So all the very best to you, Ashish Vidyarthi. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck for Ractanchal season.
Thank you, Uday. बहुत शुक्रिया आपका. Best wishes.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.